to the phone,
Right.
all that stuff. We good? We recording? Cool.
Oh, good. Here I am yawning.
So, if you're planning a wedding, you're going to want to watch what we're doing today because I have Christina with Homestead Floral here today. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So, if you haven't heard about Christina, she's a wedding florist in Hagerstown, and we're definitely going to be covering some cool things that you're going to want to know when you're planning your wedding. Also, Christina is helping us do some test runs. We have some good stuff coming up when it comes to future podcasts. So she's going to be collaborating with other people in the wedding industry. So we're going to be covering some of that. But Christina, I think they should hear from you about who you are, what you do, stuff like that. So go ahead and tell them where are you based out of, all that stuff. So you can look at me, you can look at this camera, doesn't matter. And then sometimes she switches to the webcam. So.
All right, so of course, I'm Christina. I live in Hagerstown. I've been in Hagerstown for 30 plus years. I've been in the florist business for 39 years. I worked retail for many of those. I got my business license to become a wedding florist in 2020, and I just specialize in weddings and events. I've been doing that for the last 5 years now. I am married, and I'm married, and I am currently, my husband and I are raising our 7-year-old grandson, and he has been a joy for us. Yeah. And we also have an older grandson who is 12 that we spend a lot of time with also on the weekends. So our weekends are pretty busy with them or weddings, one or the other. Not a lot of time for ourselves, but hopefully eventually we'll get there. And that's a little bit about myself. I just love what I do. My business is on my property. It's a home-based florist. So I do the work out of my home. I do have a separate building that is converted into a studio and a walk-in cooler that I use.
So I've seen your studio. I'm very impressed with what you did with that space. If you go in there, it's packed with everything you can think of. You wouldn't think of a wedding florist studio looking the way it does, but there's vases everywhere. You got containers and stuff, but you also have little workstations for what you do. So I thought that was cool. But also, I understand Paul helps a lot with.
He does. He helps with delivery and setup if I need him, and using an extra vehicle or two to do transport stuff if I don't need a rental van, because at certain things I'll have to use a rental van. So.
It's nice to have family involved, I think.
Yes, between friends and family that help me out when I need the extra help for larger things. It's great to have. So
you're going to be collaborating with a future venue and stuff like that, or the future podcast about a venue. But some things you should plan for ahead. And I know with starting to plan your own wedding, there's a lot of variables that need to work together, right? So in your space, you probably make recommendations that maybe aren't necessarily flower related based on what you do, but maybe it's in order for me to do my job, so and so needs to be there. I'm sure the planner matters and all that. So could you, if someone's planning their wedding and especially their flowers, where should they start if they were to approach you and ask you?
Well, one of the first things you really need to consider is your overall budget for everything. And because a lot of people, once they jump into wanting you're going to get married, they're overwhelmed by what everything costs. So you really need to consider what your budget is. The next thing, when it comes to flowers, of course, your color palette, the time of year you're getting married. And not necessarily, you can get married in the fall and you could still use pastel colors. I've had that before. But you want to think about the season you're getting married in and the colors that you're choosing, and then the flowers. Pinterest is a good tool to use, but a lot of brides, when they show me pictures and it's something out of season, they want something in September, October, but it has peonies in it. Not that I can't get them, but they're going to be much more expensive.
Right.
So I really try to, when I meet with the client, I try to say, oh, well, this is more expensive, but we can use an alternate flower to bring down the cost and still try to fit into the style aesthetic that you're looking for.
So be flexible would be a good thing
be
if
flexible
you're gonna
with your flower choice. And I do ask my clients, do you have flower preference? Is there flowers you like or dislike? And a lot of them like everything. Others are very specific where they don't like carnations or they don't like mums or too funeral looking for them or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but I try to say, well, carnations have come a long way. You
Yeah.
really have, and there's so many different varieties and
Mhm.
stuff now, carnations. And they're a good alternative to something that's more expensive. So, but you just got to be open to different options, unless you're set on it and what you're willing to pay.
Right, right. So it sounds like if the budget isn't flexible, then the choices have to be.
Right.
There's no, what are you going to do?
Right, right.
So I know you had mentioned seasons. You'd also mentioned Pinterest. So I think I'm going to go back to that. So a lot of wedding stuff, it's edited. That's why we don't do weddings, because
You mean the
we
photos,
we can't redo, we can't go back and, hey, let's get married again so we can
Right.
fix this. So
Right.
we stay away from that. But you, in your space, a lot of those pictures get edited. So
Yes.
how does that influence?
When I meet with the client and they share photos with me, which I think is a great idea because it gives me an idea of what they're envisioning, and then I can just take it and run with that. But I let them know if they show me a picture, well, it's either artificial or the photo has been filtered.
Yeah.
And it's like those are not the true colors. Right. So I let them realize that that is not the true color of this flower. It's been filtered by the photographer or whatever. So that's been a big challenge with that, especially photos that have been filtered by someone. So.
And they do a good job. It's not that the pictures don't look nice.
Oh no, the pictures are beautiful, but it's just not
great.
showing the true color of the flower.
The flower, the florist side is, I can't.
With some of my work, I've seen where what I made, and then I see a picture of the photographer who who took the photo, and it's like it's the same bouquet, but the colors are
way different.
Totally different. So it's not as vibrant or whatever as it actually is supposed to be. So I think if that makes any sense.
The seasonality too with the wedding industry is a little crazy. I'm learning. But I know, like you had said, there's certain flowers are harder to get certain times of year. So I think another good thing for someone planning their wedding, probably want to hear a little bit more about it. Say you're planning a wedding in May or springtime, summertime. I don't know if you want to go seasonality here and talk about.
Nowadays, with most flowers are available year round. You can get iris in the fall, in the winter. You can get tulips in the fall and the winter. Prices will vary, but there are certain things that are just out of season, and you can acquire them, but it's a lot more money. So, and when it is wedding season, usually beginning April to November is considered wedding season. And then you have your prime months, which are May and October, September, October, November. It seems like the fall weddings are much more popular nowadays than the spring and summer weddings. In my case, everyone's different, but in my case, that's what it seems to be, that more brides are getting married in the late summer, early fall. And this year coming, I'm totally booked for the month of January, which is a first for me. I've always had like one or two, but my whole month is booked for the month of January. So,
well, that's a good thing. Starting the new year that way, I think is a little bit of a relief, right?
Off and running. First wedding, January 3rd.
Yeah, that's good. Now, someone were to hit you up for January wedding, you're booked, and I think a lot of the other vendors that do what you do are probably going to say the same thing, right?
Possibly.
So they should plan ahead of time, or there's going to be slim pickings, right?
I mean, I recommend looking for a florist 6 months to a year out.
Yeah.
You always want to have your venue booked first because they're the hardest to get. Your caterer, your photographer, all that stuff. But especially with popular months, you want to make sure you're doing it at least a year possibly out. So. But you want to make sure that when you do meet with the florist, that you do have certain things already in mind, like your color palette, if possible, like the design of your girls' dresses. I know some brides don't get the dresses that early, but if it's possible, do that. Any inspiration photos that you come across that you like. I know a lot of times some of the brides will change either their color palette or design mid, a few months in, and which is completely fine. Yeah. But you go with the flow. Right? Yeah. You just go with the flow.
I'm sure you deal with some changes
Yeah.
frequently.
Yeah.
And you're flexible in that.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just
absolutely.
you'd like to have some notice right before
Right.
you like go ahead and place the order
Oh
for
yeah,
your
yeah,
flowers
yeah.
and all
I
that, right?
require everything to be paid in full 30 days prior to the wedding.
So that's not bad.
That way, if it, if changes need to be made, anything needs to be taken off, added, it can be done before they pay the balance.
Okay.
And of course, if it's a few weeks before the wedding and they need to add something or whatever,
Yeah.
I don't have an issue doing that. But
Right.
it kind of prevents that kind of stuff from happening.
Right, and you want to make sure that the day goes well, and
Right.
so you need to get your stuff ahead of time,
Right.
at least like leading up to it, right?
And I always place my flower order at least 3 to 4 weeks prior to the wedding.
Right.
To kind of get things locked in. And I mean, there are times though that it has happened that I've ordered something and for whatever reason the wholesaler could not acquire it, or
Right.
it got stuck in customs or whatever,
Right.
which is nobody's fault. It does happen sometimes,
Yeah.
and then I just have to figure out something else to do.
Yeah.
So
So a lot of people probably don't know that either.
No.
So a lot of flowers aren't necessarily
sourced in the United States.
right,
Yeah. No,
and that's
now-
industry wide. That's not unique to you.
No, that's industry wide. Yeah, so you do get things from Florida, California, Hawaii, up north. Especially when it's in season, like summer months. A lot of the wholesalers will get things from local growers and
Yeah.
stuff and sell. But the majority of the flowers are sourced into the United States, and majority of the roses are sourced from Colombia or Ecuador.
Yeah.
And you got stuff that comes from Mexico, stuff that comes to Israel, Netherlands, Canada. I mean, Israel.
Yeah.
A lot of supplies and stuff are sourced in through China. And people don't realize that, and they don't realize that we were affected also by the tariffs that started.
Yeah.
So, it's,
I think you don't want to wait till last minute to get your flowers because you're probably not getting
No,
much then.
right. So, I mean, prices have gone up over the last 5 years since I've been in
Everything has,
business.
right?
I mean, everything has. But you kind of, just like I said, you just go with the flow and do the best you can.
Yeah, you can't give up, right?
Right,
You gotta
no.
just adjust, adapt,
Right, you
and
just
what
adjust,
have you.
right, adjust and adapt and just keep going. So, my overall goal is to make sure that I provide the best quality flowers and service that's out there,
Right.
and I stand by my work and
Yeah.
make sure I give it 110%.
Well, and one thing, we teach marketing, we do marketing, media, you name it. But I will always tell people the best marketing comes from the product or service first.
Right,
A lot of people can survive just with doing a good job
right,
and word of mouth. So if you don't have that, then what do you have?
Right.
So I've seen your reviews, phenomenal reviews so far that I've seen. I've seen you're nominated for an award here we were just talking about, so that's good. How could you talk about, I guess you can clue us in on how the last year's been, like a year-end recap, but also, I don't know if you wanted to talk about Homestead so far, like how far you've come. But yeah, any
Okay.
memorable moments from this year or?
No, I mean, I've had great clients. I was able to create a few pieces that were that I've never done before. That was pretty cool.
Okay.
And each and every client has a different story, and I love the clients that bring their personality into their overall vision for their wedding.
Yeah.
And I always recommend that, bring your own personality into the vision of your wedding. I mean, I've had a great time with all my clients. I
Yeah.
really have. I can't really pinpoint one particular thing. Depending on how elaborate a wedding is or how much work detail it is, some clients I will spend more time with than others.
Yeah.
Like I become closer to them than other clients, or get to know them better
Right.
than other clients. But I mean, all in all, I'm grateful for every single one of them. I'm grateful for all the reviews, that any of them have shared and put on Google or Facebook, even the text messages or the emails or whatever I've gotten from clients, and just thanking me for everything. I'm really grateful for. So.
Well, I know that most people don't realize how important reviews are. And so I've seen the stuff people have been saying about your work and stuff, and I'm like, man, these would be amazing reviews. And now those are on your digital properties, which I think is great. And and we've seen some good results from that.
Mm-hmm.
But coming up, we just kind of did a short recap of the past year. Do you have any like plans or goals or dreams for the coming year? I know we have a potential podcast that you're going to be on here soon.
To do more weddings that I did, each year I try to do a goal of doing more weddings than I did the year before.
Mm-hmm.
Creating new and different things. I always
Yeah.
look for being able to create something different for a client that I've never done before. And one of the goals I've always had for the longest time, and if I don't have any weddings, I'm hoping to be able to do it, is I'm going to try to volunteer to decorate the White House.
Oh,
I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. And I've just never had the opportunity to do it or anything. So if I have the opportunity this coming year, I'm going to,
so you have a bucket
to see
list.
if I get accepted.
That's
or
like
whatever.
at the top, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll just keep trying every year until I get it. Until I get.
And I'd imagine that's not a one person. That's a team effort, isn't it?
Right. I think I don't know a whole lot about it, but I think they take up to like 500 volunteers.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to florist business to be able to sign up for it. You can sign up for it through the White House website. I think they have a thing for you to sign up, and you can do like 3 days to a week.
Yeah.
And then they send you like the details and stuff, and you have to be there like early in the morning and late at night. You have to provide your own transportation and stuff like that. So, but I think that would be such a great opportunity. I wouldn't care who the president is. I would just want to go to the White House and be able to do this and see how things work and how they create and see the White House florist and just different things like that. So
I bet you they got a big budget.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Is that a paying gig if you get it, or is that a volunteer? You said
it's volunteer. It's volunteer.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I did see this one lady. She did a video on TikTok because she volunteered this year.
Yeah.
And she got to work in the house florist part. Okay. And she did cranberry topiaries and stuff. Okay. But then they get to go see all the different decorations also. Yeah. So. But I think it would just be a great experience.
Sounds like a lot of work, though, too.
That's
a big house.
That's okay. That's okay. So, but it allows all the volunteers. So
speaking of that, I know this isn't something like a main thing you do, but you have a knack for design, and it bleeds into other things you do, like your Christmas decorating. So I think that's cool as well. So I don't know if maybe you want to talk about that a little bit. I know on your social media you had a really good picture of your mantle, so anytime I talk about you to someone else,
I haven't posted professional yet.
Okay, well I think you be careful when you do that, because if you do, I think you're gonna have people hitting you up wanting that done too.
I mean, it's something I would consider.
Yeah.
It would just depend on how much time I would have to give to that. I do try to spend as much time as I can with my grandchildren and my youngest grandson, so I like to set time aside for that.
Absolutely. So, it's all about optimizing our time, right? So like if you have gaps in your time, obviously you have things you can do with it. You're not sitting around, right? Like taking care of your family. Right. There's always things. And
when they're both old enough, they'll be helping me. Be helping me deliver some stuff for weddings and stuff. So the oldest one does help me some. So. Yeah.
Well, I have a 3-year-old, and I always think about, man, how should I don't know if utilize is the right word or not, but I don't feel bad for saying that. But I don't know, getting him involved too, I think is going to be fun for us. But
well, the 7-year-old wants to become a YouTube sensation.
Oh yeah, well that can be used in everything. Everybody.
And I'm like, well, you have to have good content. So.
Yeah, well. The thing is, though, and this is why we got into marketing, is you can learn, you're constantly learning. Like for me, if I do one thing, sit and do one thing, I'm going to get bored. So that's why I liked being a mechanic, was there's always a new problem that came in.
Right.
So with this, it's the same thing. We're constantly, like right now we're learning about the wedding industry. Right. We might be learning about different like contractor industries like
and one of the things roofing. I should mention is when I did decide to specialize in weddings and events, and it was during COVID when I got my business license. Yeah. I did decide to take some online courses to kind of update my skills for the wedding, because the wedding industry is a little different than just having a retail florist. Right. So, but I did, learn some new skills and new techniques on how to do things, because it's always good to stay fresh and kind of it's learn different techniques. Even though
Yeah.
I've been in it for so long, there's always a new way to do something.
So COVID triggered a lot of stuff.
Yes.
COVID, it seems like it's a reoccurring time for people who started a business or like made a major change in their life. I know that's around when I started dabbling in the marketing. Actually, I started looking into affiliate marketing first because tools are expensive, and I know if you can get a cut of a sale from one of those tools, this is a nice little cut. So I started messing with that. So it's funny you mentioned that. But Christina's here because she's part of the Wave Makers group that we have. It's a private community where we work on our marketing together. We have clicks and coffees. We have clicks and cocktails even, and later in the day.
I haven't been invited to that one.
Yeah, well, so those are coming up.
I might not drink coffee, but I will have a coffee.
So she's been learning Canva, and she has an eye for design, obviously, and I think that bleeds over into what you've been creating on Canva, which is great. We also teach other tools like CapCut's coming up. I know you'd like to learn some of that. Some other tools, AI. So she's been doing really well with that, and this is just an extra layer. So this video
just not
session.
Posting enough. I need to post more, and I keep saying that.
Well, and so the whole purpose of this is to get some good highlights of Christina because she does have some good things to say about her business and also advice for people starting a wedding or planning a wedding. So with that being said, I want to thank you because other people who are nervous about being on camera are going to see this and maybe feel a little bit better about that, but also you did a phenomenal job. I want you to take a second to tell people how they should reach out to you if they are planning a wedding.
How to reach out to me?
Yeah.
Well, they can contact me via Facebook, social media. They can send me a message. They can go to my website. Do you want me to say what my website is?
Sure, yeah.
If I can.
Right. It's okay.
It's homesteadfloralweddings.com. And my phone number is 240. See, I don't remember because I don't call myself.
It will also.
Oh my God, you'll have to edit that part.
No, you're okay. You're good.
Oh, that's horrible.
The other thing is, this isn't AI, okay? This is real life, okay?
Right.
So I think you should get some credibility for that.
Right. So my business line is 240-428-0524. Yeah. And so you can reach me out through there. Email, it's CP Homestead Floral. No, that's not right. What is it?
Your
Homestead Floral.
Your
CP.
email's on your Facebook, right?
Yeah, it should be on my Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not on
That's on my website or whatever. So yeah, that you can. Oh my God, that's horrible. That's my own information.
That's
already.
okay. You're good. So listen.
But yeah, so I mean, and then I get people to contact me at different avenues. I'll get emails. I'll get a message from my business line. I'll get the easy online form from my website that people will fill out. So there's different avenues that people can reach out and message me or hit me up or whatever. And my consultation is free. I take the time to meet with them and I don't charge for it. So
free consultations, that's good too, because it is using your time. You're giving that away.
It's using my time. Yeah. That's good. And and I'll give them a proposal and everything, and that's all on my time. I don't charge for that. And they're not locked into anything. They don't have to use
no
my
obligation.
services, no obligation whatsoever.
That's definitely providing value, I think. So, but this is a warm up. So you're gonna see more of Christina coming up in the new year. So I appreciate you taking the time to be a really good example for future wave makers. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for trusting me.
You're good. It's been fun. Thank you. We're having a blast. If only you could see the behind the scenes. It is so fun.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.